Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be going over Mythic Sludgefist. Um, Before I get into it, everything that I say for Mythic kind of can also be applied to Heroic if you're still doing Heroic. Um, but when based on when to use DPS cooldowns and such. So for this fight, I'm using Dark Pact instead of Burning Rush or Demon Skin. I felt Dark Pact was pretty good because every pillar smash you have that big boost in shield, so that just prevents a lot of damage. Um, those couple times where I died on the last pillar or the wall smash um, with Demon Skin, so I decided to swap over to Dark Pact, and that actually saved me quite a lot. Um, so little things, be using Mortal Coil on cooldown just for the heal whenever you're in range and you're chunked a little bit. Um, Dark Pact, make sure you have it for every pillar smash. As you can see on my weakauras, I have two unused trinkets. I'm using Imperial Ordnance and I'm using the PvP badge. The reason why I use the Ordnance trinket is because it has a travel time, and if you use it at specific points in the fight, it applies a dot to the boss, and then it buffs you after 15 seconds or so. And with that buff timing lasts long enough for you to get a double dip in damage during the pillars. So you'll be able to have the intellect buff from your PvP badge and from the ordnance trinket at the same time. So you're just doing a lot more damage. And this entire fight is maximizing your damage around the pillar smashes. So I'm going to kind of talk us through this and how I did it. So on pull, you want to use all your dots, and you want a Phantom Singularity pretty much as soon as you're set up with your Shadow's Embrace to 3 stacks. So here I pop my Phantom Singularity and I dump all my shards. And you do this mainly just because you have about 50 seconds until the pillar comes in, so you have a lot of time to build up shards, and so you just get that extra cast in for a little bit more damage. So I'm literally just draining and refreshing dots. It's really important to talk to your partner, whoever you're chained with, and tell them where you want to go and when you want to move. Like here, after I cast these dots, I'm like, alright, the pillar smash is going to be coming, so let's start to get moving. You can see me inching over to it. So as soon as he has to move, we just get ready to soak. So here, I refresh my Shadow's Embrace. I refresh the dots that were a little bit lower. And then I pop my Soul Rot, Phantom Singularity, Dark Soul, Dark Glare before he hits the pillar, and then when he hits the pillar, I'm casting nothing but Rapture. When I run out of shards, I refresh Haunt. So I casted everything. Boom. And I'm casting nothing but Raptures. I refresh my Haunt. And then that way, I'm just spamming my Malefic Rapture button to see if I get another shard. And that's pretty much it. I've Dark Pact before he hits the pillar just to save damage, or to, prevent me from taking a lot of damage. And you can see in the bottom left I have a weakauras saying when to use the ordnance trinket. So basically you get it for the first and the fourth pillar. When it comes to getting buffs like power infusion, I got mine on the second and fourth pillar. So ideally you get it for every pillar, which would be sick if you have that many priests, and that's a way to do tons of damage with it. But yeah, I got on the second and fourth, so you'll see that coming up next. My next pillar. So same deal, just kind of pulling shards. As you can see, I'm also using Mortal Coil on cooldown pretty much just to save health. So here I get PI. I'm just casting everything. When it comes to refreshing Shadow's Embrace or casting Rapture, I've just always prioritized casting Rapture. It's more damage than Shadow's Embrace. Yeah, it sucks. You ideally don't want it to fall off, but sometimes you have movement before the pillar smash, and you aren't able to fully set up. So make sure you're hitting Rapture, and every single shard that you get is spent in the stun window. So then here I'm trying to like refresh after, but since I had PI, it's just way more effective to Rapture than to try to maintain Shadow's Embrace. So here, same thing, just kind of spreading out. Actually, I almost died there because we were all like clustered together. I always try to pre-position, so I always try to tell my partner, all right, we need to move to wherever we need to go, like now, so you can see me like inching over, like, all right, come on. So I think that's the best way to maximize your damage, just be in position, so that way you don't have to move at all when you're setting up. So, like right here, I have all my dots refreshed. I pop my Dark Pact. You know, I'm passing my Soul Rot, Phantom Singularity, and I'm just ready to smash into the boss. So this time, my Shadow's Embrace was up, my dots were up. I am already like halfway through my shards, so yeah, this time it was a lot better of a setup. So I was able to get all my shards in and get like full value out of my dots. So here we're lining up for the last pillar, just kind of spreading out. I found in my raid specifically, like the left side of this map was underutilized, so I kind of like went towards the left for the start of this for space. And then as the pillar smash is coming, you can see in the bottom left my ordnance trinket's coming up. And so in 5 seconds, I'm going to hit the trinket. So that way I have the double intellect buff, power infusion, bloodlust, second potion, and I'll have everything and I'll be ready to go to do like the most damage that I can. So we lust here. I popped my ordnance trinket. I actually got PI'd a little bit early here, but it's fine. So I'm setting up completely, getting in my soak spot, pop my Dark Pact, and just pumping into the boss here. So you can see my DPS went from like 7k to 9k off of that burst. It's pretty important that you get like your setup correct. So here is like the hardest part of the fight, honestly. It's just the ending, because this there's not much room, so you're kind of sitting in puddles, so you're taking a little bit more damage than you normally would. And you have to get to the wall. We use the gate in front of us to kind of show that wall. So here I'm just kind of trying to stay alive. And I'm getting ready for the next wall smash and pretty much just trying to just trying to survive and do as much damage as I can on the boss. So in reality, I probably should have just popped my cooldowns and everything before, since the boss was at 2%. But I really wasn't really paying attention to the boss's percentage. But if the boss is probably like 3% or less, you can probably just pop your cooldowns. Mainly because when he does hit the wall smash, he's pretty much instantly dead. If you aren't. Like if you have your raid alive, like normally he's just gonna die. So here I spent all this time moving into the boss to try to not die, and he's at 0.7%, right? So I didn't do any damage at the... I didn't get any value out of my damage at the last part here. So if I had popped my cooldowns before he smashed, because based on how low his health was, I would have been able to do a lot more damage here, right? And then instead here, I did literally nothing. So that was a mistake by me. Now I know like when the boss is like 3% and he's gonna hit the wall in like 10 seconds, that I can just pop my cooldowns before, and you can just execute drain him all the way down. But yeah, hopefully this is helpful. I know a lot of you have been asking me about doing a Sludgefish guide, so yeah, hopefully I learned a few things from this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.